Bellwork 19A. Question number 1. Rotate rectangle JKLM 270 degrees clockwise about the origin. Label the image J prime, K prime, L prime, M prime. Then rotate JKLM 180 degrees clockwise about the origin. Label the image J double prime, K double prime, L double prime, M double prime. Okay, so I want you to remember, first of all, each quadrant is 90 degrees. Each quadrant is 90 degrees. So that means, by the way, counterclockwise would be going this direction. So from this pre-image right here, the pre-image, this would be 90 degrees, this would be 180 degrees, and this would be 270 degrees. So that means this first figure right here is going to be in this quadrant. The first figure will be in that quadrant. The second figure is 180 degrees clockwise. Well, clockwise would be going this direction. So this would be 90 degrees, and this would be 180 degrees. So that means our second figure down here is in this quadrant. So nothing will be in this bottom quadrant. Nothing will be in the bottom quadrant. Okay, now, I went ahead and I found JKLM, wrote them down twice, and you need to do the same thing. Your work should look similar to mine. You don't have to draw the lines, but you can, and it makes it a little bit easier. But go ahead and draw those, or write down your ordered pairs for JKLM twice. Once under the 270 counterclockwise and once under the 180 clockwise. Okay, now that you've done that, 270 degrees counterclockwise. Well, I copied and pasted this chart from our notes. 270 counterclockwise. Well, here's counterclockwise, and right here is our 270. So 270 degrees counterclockwise is y negative x. Now remember, that negative doesn't mean you make the x a negative number. That means you take the opposite. So you're going to keep the y coordinate the same. It will become our x coordinate. And you'll take whatever the x coordinate was and take the opposite of it, and it will become our new y coordinate. I'm going to do J prime with you. First, write down y negative x. So here are our y coordinates. And y stays the same. So my new x coordinate is going to be negative 1. It says to keep y the same, but it becomes the new x coordinate. Here are my x coordinates. This says I'm to take the opposite of the x coordinate. Take the opposite of the x coordinate. Well, the opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. So J prime is at negative 1, 6. J prime is at negative 1, 6. So I'm going to come over to my coordinate plane, go negative 1 and up 6. And this is where J prime should be. Now, you are going to finish finding K prime, L prime, and M prime. Then you are going to graph the figure and label it properly. Make sure you don't forget the prime symbols. And guys, since you're doing this on notability, like if you're in line, if you hold it, see how it becomes straight? So if you go from point to point, like, and it gets a little crooked, but you hold it, it will give you a straight line. So there is no reason to have crooked graphs. Make sure your lines are nice and crisp and straight. Okay, so go ahead, pause your video, find K prime, L prime, M prime, and graph and label it. All right. 180 degrees clockwise. If I come down here, 180 degrees, it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise because they are the same. Both are negative x, negative y. So that means I'm taking the opposite of the x coordinate, opposite of the y coordinate. Opposite of the x coordinate, opposite of the y coordinate. So opposite of x, opposite of y. Okay. J double prime, I'm going to take the opposite of the x coordinate. The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. Then I'm going to take the opposite of the y coordinate. The opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So that means that J double prime is at 6, 1. So what I would like you to do is find K double prime, L double prime, M double prime, plot and label it, and don't forget that it's double primes for this figure. So you should have 2 rectangles on your grid, and make sure that one's labeled J prime, K prime, L prime, and the other, or sorry, M prime, and the other one J double prime, K double prime, L double prime, M double prime. If you have any questions on problem number 1, please let me know. I'm going to erase those lines. There you go.